It's minus 11 degrees and cloudy there. Today, there will be snow showers with a forecasted high of minus 8 and a low of minus 15.
Good morning. How you guys doing today? Well, I was going to start this video off a little bit differently by talking about the carnivore diet and other good news, things like that. But as you guys know, Rusty's down. Moose is at the shop. And Carol was just about to go out and started the Volkswagen, and it came up with a warning. Oh my gosh. Low coolant. Do not drive this car until you've dealt with it, kind of thing. And so Carol kind of came back in, not really wanting to tell me what's going on. And I'm waiting at the front. I always wave to my wife when she leaves, and as she's driving away. And so I'm like waiting. So it is snowing. So I'm thinking, okay, she's just brushing off the car. But nope, she was dealing with the fact that it came up with a warning saying there's low coolant. Deal with it. And so she's like looking through the manual, trying to figure that out. And then she comes back into the house sheepishly and looks at me. I'm like, oh no, please don't tell me we have 3 cars down. And she's like, well, the coolant. Saying deal with the coolant level, it's low. And I'm thinking that you're not supposed to drive it when the coolant's low, depending on how low it is, I guess. So I had to get my hat on, get my boots on, go out and check the coolant level because Carol couldn't get the cap off. And so once we got the cap off, the actual reservoir, the overflow reservoir, is dirty, so you couldn't see where the level was. So I took the cap off, and you could see down into it that it's just touching the 2 sensors. There's 2 like little sensors into the liquid, and once the liquid gets lower, then the sensors, I guess, sense that there's no liquid, and then trip the warning. So Carol remembered that this happened. I'm not sure, a year ago maybe. She was on her way up to the cottage, same thing. So she pulled over to a gas station and bought some coolant and filled it up. So or brought it to the cottage. It was punctured, so we have used some of it. So we filled it up. That's all done. Carol drove away fine. Good ending to that little story. Rusty's still sitting in my driveway. Haven't had time to take him up. The female and the male cardinal are there right now. Beautiful birds. I know. I'm trying. Okay, come on. People want to see. Zoom in. Oh, it's focusing on the stupid. Oh, there it is. Maybe. No, it's focusing on the screen. I hate that. So the cardinal is at that feeder up high near the top of the roof, or just underneath the roof ledge. And the female is back in the other bush. Beautiful red cardinal is at the feeder that I bought Carol for Christmas. So yeah, I just got a phone call from Mercedes. It's going to cost me like $200 just for them to look at it. Again, the number one problem with buying a Mercedes, so all the van people say, this camera is crooked and I can't handle it. I don't like crooked cameras sometimes. There we go. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, so that's the problem with Mercedes. It's everything's expensive. So she phoned me, let me know it's going to cost $200 just to diagnose what's going on. I was kind of wanting to drive up there yesterday after we had it towed there, because I learned so much from you guys and a buddy of mine, Steve. Steve's the guy with the computer. You guys know Steve. And I don't know what it was. I don't know why I asked him last, because I totally forgot that he used to have a huge dually truck, and because he used to have a very large trailer, camping trailer, very large, so he needed the big dually truck to pull this thing around. But that was diesel, and he said the same thing happened to him on very cold days if he didn't plug it in. That's another thing. I don't even know if the Sprinter van has a block heater. A lot of people say it should have come with a block heater. Like, you live in Canada, all the Sprinters should have block heaters in it. So anyway, I was going to drive up there yesterday with Carol, try to start it. If not, try to see if there's a block heater, if there's a plug that into the Jackery, heat up the engine a little bit with the Jackery through the block heater, and chances are it would have started. But my suspicion is that the battery is on its way out, because the CAA driver who came to help me and jumpstart my van, he said your battery is low. So I'm not sure if it's low because it's old. Is it low because it was minus 23 degrees? I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know these things. That's why I reach out to people like you and to all my friends. I sent out a bunch of texts to a bunch of friends. And again, I don't know why I didn't send my first one to Steve. Oh, I'm so mad, because he's like, oh, I would just wait like a couple hours and it would start. I probably could have left Moose there for the day and then gone back like 6 hours later, and again try to find out if I was a block heater and whatever. Oh my gosh. So anyway, dealing with that, you'll guys find out tomorrow on the next vlog what's going on with Moose, Rusty. Yeah. Anyway, so today is the 16th. That means it's the 16th day of Carnivore. I did not weigh myself yesterday. I was because I slept in the van, didn't have my scale with me. So when I woke up in the morning, it didn't weigh myself all day. But I weighed myself this morning, and I was 201.9. Woo! I'm so close to Wonderland. It is unbelievable. Again, thanks for all your support. Oh yeah, we're not. And tomorrow we're not having electricity for, I don't know, 4 hours or more, between the hours of 9 and 1, because they're fixing lines near the railroad tracks. So this whole area is going to be dead. So I did charge up all my Jackeries, my Blue Eddy, and that will. We probably don't have to plug the fridge in, but at least we can plug in heaters and try to keep warm as best we can. And if we need to if we want to watch TV, we can just plug in the router and the television into it, which I've done in the past too, which is good, because when you're in a blackout, it's nice to have power. Anyway, so I wanted to quickly go through my photographs, because that reminds me of things. Okay, so as of the last vlog, we ended off in the van at the keg. And so in the morning, try to start it. Again, I send a message to a friend of mine named Ed, who used to work on cars, a very, very good mechanic. Doesn't do it anymore, but he used to work on Lamborghinis and all kinds of vehicles. And super duper guy, lots of information in his noggin. I'd love to download all of his information through the Matrix. But I sent a message to him. He was in a meeting, so it took him about an hour to get back to me. Paul was sleeping, but eventually woke up, saw my message, because he has diesels. Ed knows all about diesels as well. So Paul looked up quickly online that if you try to heat your glow plugs by putting your key in, turning it once so that the glow plug sign comes on, and once the glow plug shuts off, shut it off. Do it again. Shut it off. Do it again. And that will sometimes warm up that area of the engine where that initial combustion or whatever happens. Again, I'm not a mechanic. I don't know how this stuff works. After doing that a bunch of times, then I got a warning, and Ed said, yeah, this warning means that you've tried to start it too many times, so stop it. But again, the battery seemed fine, and then so the CAA guy came, tried to hook it up. Again, I learned a lot. I learned how to boost my car if I ever need to boost it again. And there's like a special spot in the engine compartment, because the battery in a Sprinter van is under the feet area of the driver's side inside the vehicle. So you gotta like take this floor panel off, take this other thing off just to get to the battery. It's a huge pain in the ass to get to the battery. So they've put some connections inside the engine compartment, mounted right to the side of the engine. So you push this red thing sleeve back, put your positive on that, put the negative on a special spot on the inside of the vehicle, and try to start it. So he tried, nothing. But he said, that's, again, this is my evidence that possibly something's wrong with the battery. He just said the battery's low. And then he grabbed another fresh, brand new battery, put it down, doubled up. So he had that special unit that helps jumpstart cars. And then he put another battery in, not like just click. So it could be the starter, could be the battery. We'll find out today. Unfortunately, it's going to cost me $200. I'm hoping that there's a block heater in there. And from now on, when it is going to be colder than minus 10, I'm going to make sure that Moose is plugged in, because I'm going to probably be using Moose a little bit more. Again, especially if Rusty is dead. I am going to take Rusty in to see how much it would cost him to check those sensors. And if it is the sensors, Rusty's back on the road. And again, I have to remind everybody once again, Rusty is my stealth camping vehicle. Moose is a RV, an RV. So we bought that for Carol and I to do trips together, to make videos together. I could also do solo stuff. There was a whole wide range of things I could do, like more camping type stuff in campgrounds and stuff, rather than sitting in a parking lot overnight in a big RV camper van. So the towing company came, flatbed. It was funny, as he was putting it on, he's like, wow, this is a long vehicle, Mom. Yep, 22 feet. It fit, obviously. But when that last little jolt, when the thing went down, the van did one of those, and Carol was watching from her car, and she's like, oh, that looked like it almost tipped over. Yummy coffee. Okay, so last night, the first meal I had was 4 eggs, and Carol bought a rotisserie chicken. So after Moose got picked up, Carol and I went to Costco to buy a bunch of stuff, and she saw those rotisserie chickens, grabbed one of those, and so she pulled it all apart and then made a huge pot of soup and a broth that Carol and Ben could eat. I couldn't eat it because she put a lot of vegetables and all kinds of other stuff in it, so I wasn't allowed to eat that. But I got all the dark meat, which is my favorite part of a rotisserie chicken, filled up a bowl, and threw that in the frying pan, fried it up, put some butter into it, and then poured it all over a plate. And that's what I ate for dinner last night. And then maybe an hour later, I was hungry again. So I tried this bone broth again a couple nights ago. Carol and I were up in Barrie, went to one of those health food places, and she's like, hey, do you want to try this bone broth? So there was 2 kinds. I think I had the turmeric one, chicken turmeric bone broth. So I had a bowl of that and like 2 slices of Havarti cheese all folded up. And that's all I had for dinner last night. And again, this morning I was down to 201.9. And that's pretty much it. I think I just cut you up big time. The big problems right now are what's going on with Moose, what's going on with Rusty. But again, I'll fill you in. I'm just trying to go back just in case I missed something. A bird flew into our window the other day, but he hit the screen first, but he wasn't moving a lot, and he had his head down. And so I went and got him onto a piece of cardboard because he was just kind of lying on the snow, and let him hang for about half an hour to maybe an hour. And he still wasn't, his head was up at least, and he was like looking around. So I went out there to try and put him into a box and then put him into an area where there's less wind so he doesn't freeze to death. And when I approached him, he flew away. So I was super happy. I hate when if a bird hits a window and dies and you see it the next day, oh well. But when you see it hit the window and he's suffering on the ground, you're like, I wish I hadn't seen that. Anyway, thanks guys for watching all my videos, especially this channel. I'm right now editing like crazy to try and get the stealth camping at the keg done as fast as possible. I do have some awesome stuff coming up, and I'll try to remember to tell you guys in the next video. All right, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later. Bye.